everybody, and welcome to my review of Lords of Chaos, a horror, thriller, drama, musical biopic directed by Jonas Åkerlund. So this film, it basically tells the story of the birth of black metal, the music genre, out of Norway. Rory Culkin, the youngest sibling of Macaulay Culkin, plays a guitarist who goes by the name of Euronymous, and he's in this film kind of credited as the guy who basically starts this entire genre. So the story goes along, we follow how he formed the band Mayhem and came in contact with another musician who went by the name of Varg. But whereas Euronymous kind of started up this black metal movement, with the symbolism of burning churches, etc., Varg kind of took it a step further and went ahead and was actually burning down churches. And along the way, you've got murder, you've got all sorts of stuff, and a very tragic conclusion. Yeah, look, if you know anything about the story in real life, you know what happened. Now, before I get into this, there's been a lot of stuff that I've read about how the book that this movie was based on, there was a lot of fiction mixed in with the non-fiction, and a lot of people are complaining that certain events in this film were completely fabricated, etc. I'm not going to pretend I know everything or really much at all about the birth of the black metal movement in Norway, so I'm reviewing this purely in the terms of it being a film. So one of the reasons I was really looking forward to this film is Jonas Åkerlund is one of my most favorite directors ever. This guy has directed more music videos than you could possibly imagine. Like, I'm not kidding. Think of a number right now. He's directed 10 times that. Unless, of course, you were thinking of something stupid like 1 million. He hasn't directed 10 million music videos. That's just crazy. But he came from a small, humble start doing music videos for kind of more independent, smaller bands, and worked his way up to doing videos for the likes of Lady Gaga, Madonna, U2, the Rolling Stones. But he was probably most infamous for his video for the Prodigy's Smack My Bitch Up. If you've seen that video, you know what this guy's genius level is. And I'm not kidding, that was one of the greatest music videos of all time. And he was kind of a big influence on me as well, because I've directed over 15 music videos or so, and yeah, the guy's work I really love, and he's done some film work, but he also directed this, which is very shiny in the light. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, it's the Rammstein Live in Paris concert, which I got to see on the big screen a little while back, and it blew my freaking mind. The visuals, the editing. I mean, yeah, this guy really put you into the concert. Like, it just made you really feel it. And Lords of Chaos was no different. Trust me, this rambling is actually going somewhere. This guy was probably the best choice to direct this film, because what he's given us, you know, sometimes you get these lists of movies that, like the most disturbing movies of all time, or, that have scenes that you just can't watch or whatever. I would put this movie in there, because seriously, I was so rattled coming out of this movie that I ran through a red light on the way home by accident. Because, yeah, I just wasn't thinking straight. This movie, it got me to the core, mainly because of its graphic violence. Like, I love over-the-top, graphic, violent, gory movies. Horror is my favorite genre. This movie had a couple of murder scenes and a suicide scene that was so brutally realistic. These were honestly the most realistic murders I've seen on screen since Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. And yeah, the whole movie was just such a visceral experience. The way it was cut, the way it was shot. There's a party scene early in the film, and the way this thing, it was just sort of, displayed in a whole bunch of quick shots, but it really made you feel like you were there. And this movie doesn't pull any punches. There is a lot of nudity and violence and just some really raw stuff. This movie was fearless. And overall, I just found it really interesting. Like, even if a lot of the stuff was made up, it was still, I'm sure a lot of it was still based on fact. And yeah, it was just interesting kind of seeing how this, entire genre of music was born. I thought the performances all around were really good. And one of the things going into it, I kind of thought it's a bit strange they're using mostly American actors to portray Norwegians. But there was something about this movie that, even though the actors spoke with American accents, I had no trouble believing that they were Norwegian. I don't know if it was the production design, the cinematography, the setting, yeah, but I don't know. I just had no trouble believing that these people were Norwegian. Emery Cohen played Varg, who was the guy that sort of, came to clash with Euronymous. Yeah, he was great. I really dug his performance. But Rory Culkin as the lead character, he commanded the screen every time he was on. I haven't really seen a lot of his work, but I just thought in this film, yeah, every scene that he was in, he stole the show. But aside from the way that the film was cut and everything, it was just brilliantly directed. Jonas uses a lot of mixed media. There's, film and video and a few different other styles in there. And yeah, it was all put to really good use. But while I found the film, quite an experience to watch, and, that's what this guy does when he makes things. He turns things from being like a film or a music video or whatever into an experience. It did definitely have some flaws. For starters, even though each scene was really interesting, I just kind of found the overall narrative wasn't that compelling. We didn't really know a lot about these characters in order to get behind them. We didn't really know sort of why they wanted to do some of the things that they did. It would have been interesting to use some of the 2-hour runtime, to maybe have a bit more of a backstory of everybody, or just so we can get to know them a little better. So in terms of the overall narrative flow, I did think it was a little bit loose. Aside from that, there was also kind of a love interest character thrown in for Euronymous. There was a female character in the film, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really buy that. I thought it was a little bit useless. And just regarding the overall tension between Euronymous and Varg, I'm not going to spoil anything in case you don't know what the story is or how it ends up, but the conclusion, what happened there, I just kind of thought the tension between them should have been escalated a bit more. Where it was, I just felt the ending was a little bit over the top compared to what had been built up towards it. Yeah, so I thought maybe the tension there could have been escalated a bit more. But look, overall, it's one of those things, it's hard to say I enjoyed Lords of Chaos because, it's a really messed up film. It kind of reminded me of Mother that came out a couple of years ago. That movie just destroyed my soul. And yeah, but it's one of those things that I've got to commend the movie for making me feel something so powerful. I would definitely own the film. I would watch it again. You got to be in the right frame of mind though, because yeah, those 2 murder scenes in the film, they were really hard to watch. I'm not kidding. They were shocking. But again, that's a good thing, for a movie to be able to do that. Yeah, I gotta hand it to it. It did good. So look, I would definitely recommend Lords of Chaos if you're not really invested in the true story of what happened with these people. Because like I said, I've read a lot of stuff online where people are complaining about the film, and that's fair enough. I get it. But in terms of a movie, yeah, if you're in the right frame of mind, definitely check it out. I'm going to give Lords of Chaos a 7.5 out of 10. Alrighty, well, thank you very much for watching my review of Lords of Chaos. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you like what you see, I'm not going to force you to do it. In the meantime, let me know what you thought of Lords of Chaos. Drop me some comments either here, Facebook, or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below because I like to talk about movies, and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.